Good afternoon. On behalf of Humanities faculty, staff, and students, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to our virtual annual Spring Awards celebration. My name is Tyler Stovall. I'm a professor of history and the Dean of Humanities here at UC Santa Cruz. Our annual Spring Awards celebrates excellence in humanities and gives us an opportunity to acknowledge students and faculty who have achieved special recognition, distinctions, and honors during the academic year. We are sorry that we were not able to be together in a historic Cowell Hay Barn as planned, but are very glad that you have joined us today in this online format. Instead of our usual printed program for today's celebration, we have created a digital version on our Humanities Division website. I encourage you to explore it as it recognizes all the achievements of our amazing students and faculty beyond those we are able to recognize today. Please visit humanities.ucsc.edu to learn more about our outstanding students and faculty. And before we begin, I want to thank the Humanities staff for their work in building that website and making this event happen. Rafferty Lincoln, Carrie Napoles, Judy Plummer, Blanca Rodriguez, and Angela Thalls, as well as the student employee, Oscar Licon. I also extend my gratitude to all the staff in our departments who contribute so much to coordinating these awards. We could not do this without you. As part of the celebratory event, I also want to recognize the work of the Humanities Institute in providing strategic, financial, and intellectual support for our faculty and students. Next, I would like to say a few words about how we hope this virtual celebration will work today. Following a few remarks from myself and Chancellor Larive, we will play a pre-recorded video of several award presentations that will last about 40 minutes. Once the video concludes, we invite you to join us at a big round of applause for our award recipients, and we'll then invite you to share any toasts or congratulatory remarks. Your microphones are currently muted, but you will be allowed to unmute just as soon as the video ends. We encourage you to set your Zoom settings to gallery view as well, and then the chat will be open for you to add in congratulatory messages throughout our celebration. Thank you so much. Now, the importance of the humanities is particularly acute in this age of COVID-19, rampant racism, quote, fake news, global warming, and many other challenges. Today, we stand in solidarity with the African American community in its struggle against police violence and for racial equality. This is an issue that concerns us all, for we all belong to one world. The murder of George Floyd was a crime against us all. As the English poet John Donne wrote centuries ago, quote, "Each man's death diminishes me, for I am involved in mankind. Therefore, send not to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee." Research and teaching in the humanities is focused on viewing these and other real-world challenges through the critical lens of human intelligence. Students in humanities departments and programs learn that understanding and changing society begins with posing and debating some essential questions. What constitutes justice? What are the barriers to achieving equality? What forms of communication are most effective? What stories, old and new, can move us to do the right thing? And what are the bases of power? What we celebrate today are the myriad ways in which our students and faculty think through these questions and work together to find answers. And in doing so, how will they change the world and make it a better place for all? It is now my great pleasure to introduce Chancellor Cynthia Larive. Chancellor Larive is our 11th Chancellor and is about to complete her first academic year here at UC Santa Cruz. She is an accomplished bioanalytical chemist and a first-generation college graduate with a long demonstrated deep commitment to student success, inclusion, and equity. We are delighted that she is able to join us today as we celebrate the best of the humanities at UC Santa Cruz. Please join me in welcoming Chancellor Larive.
There we go. Thank you, Tyler. It's my great pleasure to be here with you today. Congratulations to all of today's awards recipients, both students and faculty. I'm delighted to celebrate with you, though it's not the way that any of us would prefer in person. The circumstances that we find ourselves in this year, though, power outages, a grading strike, a pandemic, make celebrating this achievement even more important. It's not been an easy year, yet the work that you have done stands out. That work speaks to your commitment to yourselves, to your departments, to the university, and to the humanities in general. It would be hard to argue that the humanities have ever been more important than they are right now. We are living in a seminal time. A global pandemic is having an outsized impact on the poor, on the African American and Latinx communities. Protests have erupted nationwide as Americans react to the killing of George Floyd, one more ugly chapter in the appalling history of racial harassment, assault, and murder of Black Americans by police that stretches back generations. Studying the humanities helps us make sense of what it means to be human. And it gives us the tools that enable us to address the profound issues of our day: ethics and justice, race and identity, power and privilege. The humanities teach the critical skills needed to navigate the complex world around us: critical thinking, reading and writing, creative expression, deep research, and investigation. The humanities provide a historical context, but more importantly, they help us define our future. And two awards that are new this year speak to just this idea: the Koha Gunderson Prize in Speculative Futures and the Bettina Aptheker Award for Research on Sexual, Gendered, and Racial Violence. Both of these awards are entirely of the moment and press our students to look at the issues we must address right now as a society and to imagine what our future can look like. I am immensely proud of what we are offering our students. In closing, I would like to offer my congratulations to Gary Young. Gary is the recipient of this year's John Dezicki's Faculty Teaching Award in the Humanities. It's a great honor and one that is deeply deserved. And finally, I would like to say a few words about our humanities dean, Tyler Stovall. As you know, Tyler is stepping down as dean. And in my year as chancellor, I have found him to be an incredibly thoughtful about humanities education and how it interfaces with the rest of campus. Tyler has been a big supporter of the Humanities Institute, and it is an outstanding model for advancing student and faculty research and is well known for its excellent events, several of which I got to enjoy before shelter in place. The Humanities Institute and those events engage our entire community in questions that matter to all of us. And the Institute has grown and developed greatly under Tyler's leadership. So thank you, Tyler, for all your work. Know that I and UC Santa Cruz wish you well.
Thank you, Chancellor. It means a lot to me personally and to all of us to have you join us in our celebration today. We will now move on to the pre-recorded video portion of this event. I hope you enjoy this collection of award presentations, and we will see you back here when the video concludes. As we prepare to honor many of our students for their academic achievements and excellence, some of whom will graduate this year, we felt it was important to begin by hearing from one of our own humanities alumni about the pathway, quote, beyond the forest and into the, quote, real world. Lois Rassan graduated from UCSC in 2013, a double major in both history and studio art. In her time as a history student, she studied with Professor Alan Christie and participated in a collaborative research project with Yokohama National University. In her senior year, Lois earned a Dean's Award in the Arts Division and was also a recipient of a Humanities Undergraduate Research Award, which allowed her to travel to Yokohama, Japan to explore her research further. After graduating, she went on to work in strategic communications with the university's Space Research Association and NASA's Ames Research Center. Lois is now a doctoral candidate in the history department at UC Berkeley, where she's working on a dissertation about the history of astronomical illustration. She recently wrapped up a Guggenheim pre-doctoral fellowship at the Smithsonian's National Air and Space Museum and is in the process of finishing her dissertation. Please join me in welcoming Lois Rassan.
Congratulations, class of 2020. I hope that you're all currently celebrating this incredible milestone despite the current extenuating circumstances. It's a remarkable privilege to be able to share a few words with you at this really exciting juncture. 7 years ago, I sat in a folding chair, plastic folding chair in the sun on the Upper East Field, completely unsure of what would become of me. Graduation was really exciting, but it was almost hard to relish in the accomplishment because of all of my anxiety about the future. So I guess that this message is especially for those of you who might be feeling a similar type of way. Don't worry. You will be amazed, truly, by how well the skill set that you've cultivated over this last phase of your life will come to serve you. I graduated with a double major in history and studio art, and I have been recombining the things that I learned in those two disciplines really ever since. In fact, they have set me on what has become a remarkably fulfilling professional trajectory. And that is the very important message that I have brought with me to you from the other side. The days of, so what are you going to do with that, are gone. It is no longer a meaningful question, if it ever was one at all. And if our current political, economic, or social situation has taught us literally anything, it is that predictability is wholly out the window. Really, nobody has any idea what you're going to do with the things that you've learned. But let that be a freeing thought rather than a scary one. To commemorate the occasion, I have prepared for you a list of things that I've done over the last 7 years that I absolutely would not have guessed at graduation. Number 1, gotten a job doing graphic design for NASA. Who even knew that that was a job? Number 2, eaten jalapeno poppers with an astronaut. Not a professional accomplishment, but still something that I look back on very fondly. Number 3, learned how to speak German. Not bad. Number 4, moved to Berlin. Number 5, had my very own art show where I unveiled detailed paintings of different foods that I have eaten over the course of my life. Number 6, won a year-long research fellowship to the Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. Number 7, moved to Capitol Hill, where I lived 2 blocks away from the row house currently inhabited by Bernie Sanders. Number 8, held a handwritten letter from Kurt Vonnegut to Carl Sagan physically in my hand. Number 9, moved to Berkeley, where I currently live. And number 10, written an entire doctoral dissertation on the history of American spaceflight. You are going to do things that are so weird and so interesting that you can't even begin to imagine what they might be right now. So if you feel worried that you don't have it figured out yet, don't. Nobody does. And that's what we're learning at every possible turn these days. In fact, really what we need right now are talented and creative individuals with the capacity to think critically about problems that we've honestly never encountered before. And you guys are uniquely poised to do this. So congratulations, class of 2020. We all really, 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 really look forward to the types of strange and interesting things that you're about to get up to.
Good afternoon. I would like to begin by announcing the first of our student awards, our Deans and Chancellors Awards. The Deans and Chancellor of UC Santa Cruz encourage outstanding scholarship and creativity among undergraduate students based on work developed in courses or programs during the academic year. 10 undergraduate projects are selected from each academic division to receive the Dean's Awards, and from those 10 projects, 3 are then selected for the Chancellor's Award. The recipients of the Humanities Division Dean's Awards in 2019-2020 are Sam Iyeli, Philosophy; Irma Barbosa, Feminist Studies; Angela Cortez, History; Cynthia Lisette Gonzalez, Philosophy and Literature; Clara McMahon, Linguistics; Landon Austin Mitchell, Philosophy; Farah Safari, Critical Race and Ethnic Studies; Max Tarloff, Linguistics; Bailey Jonathan Truth, History; and Charles Wagoner, History. The 3 Dean's Awards recipients who were also selected to receive Chancellor's Awards are Sam Iyeli, Philosophy; Irma Barbosa, Feminist Studies; and Angela Cortez, History. Congratulations to all of you for your outstanding achievements. For our guests, I encourage you to visit the Humanities Division website to learn more about the projects that earned these awards. David Kadish, a history alumnus from the class of 1973, has generously given back to UC Santa Cruz for many years and in many ways, including establishing the David A. Kadish Humanities Scholarship to provide financial support to a deserving student with a strong interest in the study of humanities. I now have the pleasure of introducing this year's David A. Kadish Humanities Scholarship to Zaire Armstrong, a senior in philosophy. One of the faculty on the selection committee remarked about Zaire's essay, quote, "What appeals about it is that it clearly communicates that Zaire is alive to what we offer here at UC Santa Cruz: self-exploration, relationships with others, and surprising discoveries. It also demonstrates a remarkable capacity for self-reflection or metacognition. As a portrait of the mindset that we hope all students will develop while they are with us, it is kind of perfect." End quote. Zaire has aspirations to apply to law school and shared in her application that if she were to receive the award, she will apply it toward the admissions test fees. Congratulations, Zaire. The Dizikis Faculty Teaching Award in the Humanities celebrates the humanities faculty's commitment to excellence in teaching. The award is named in honor of the late Professor Emeritus of American Studies, John Dizikis, a member of the founding family whose powerful ability to inspire and engage generations of students exemplifies our faculty's strengths as teachers. The award recognizes the pedagogical expertise and exceptional mentorship of faculty and supports students' commitments to academic excellence and serious inquiry. I am very pleased to present the 2019-2020 Dizikis Faculty Teaching Award in the Humanities to lecturer Gary Young. For more than 4 decades, Gary Young has been one of the most prominent names in the Santa Cruz poetry community and, in 2010, was named the county's first poet laureate. While Gary is also an accomplished printer and visual artist, he is best known for his poetry, which has won several awards, including the Pushcart Prize, the James D. Phelan Award, the William Carlos Williams Award, the Peregrine Smith Poetry, and Shelley Award of the Poetry Society of America. His work has appeared in a number of journals and anthologies, including The Nation, the Kenyon Review, and the American Poetry Review. However, on our campus, Gary Young may be most well known as the director of the Cowell Press, where he teaches printing and book arts. Today we honor his outstanding teaching and student mentorship. Students and colleagues offered high praise for Lecturer Young's exceptional generosity as a mentor to a striking number of students. During their period reviewed for his last merit action, 10 of his students went on to MFA or MA programs in poetry, a record that testifies to the effectiveness of his advising and support for graduate study. One student remarks that, quote, Gary makes it a point to mentor all of his students equally and fairly. This connects to Gary's extensive knowledge of other cultures and practices and how he is able not only to learn about other people's individual experiences openly, but to teach his students about inclusivity and how to take cultural and societal sensitivity into account inside of the classroom, end quote. Another student comments that, quote, Gary has the ability to guide a student at any skill level. I have brought writings to him complaining loudly that I can't write a poem. He pulls out his red-tipped pen and goes to work. He caps the pen and says, quote, I don't know what you're talking about, but there's a poem in here, end quote. Another student expresses it this way, quote, Gary's poetry class is challenging in the best way, because not only is the whole class held to a higher standard, but Gary's assignments and critiques are designed to make his students better writers and readers of poetry, end quote. It is such a special feature of the Dzikas Faculty Teaching Award that the chosen faculty are asked to award one or more scholarships to students who have shown outstanding academic achievement. I am delighted to introduce Gary Young as he accepts the 2019-2020 Dzikas Faculty Teaching Award and invite him to introduce the recipients of the Gary Young Scholarships. Congratulations to you, Gary, and to your students.
I came to UCSC as a student in 1969. Those were heady times, and the campus was an exciting mix of exuberant, passionate students and a faculty with a desire to create a more nurturing, student-centered undergraduate experience. I benefited greatly from their vision and their dedication to undergraduate education. We were blessed then by a remarkable group of extraordinary teachers, many of whom became friends. Paige Smith, Todd Newberry, George Hitchcock, and of course, John Dzikas. I learned a great deal from these and many other marvelous professors while I was a student here. But more than simply filling my head with information or exciting my curiosity about one subject or another, they provided me a template for how to teach. They taught me how to approach each student as a glorious, special, unique individual, someone who could be a comrade, a fellow adventurer on a journey of intellectual and artistic discovery. Before I began teaching any class, I asked myself the same question. Is this a course I would like to have taken when I was a student? I work hard to ensure that my answer is yes. I embrace the responsibility of in loco parentis, and I try to treat each of my students the way I would hope professors have treated my own children, with compassion, honesty, and dedication. John Dzikas left a high bar for any teacher to strive for. It's a delight to be associated with his name and his legacy, and I am humbled and honored to have received this award. I would like to thank my colleagues in the Literature Department, the Humanities Division, and of course, a very special thanks to my students who make my work a joy. In particular, I would like to congratulate 3 of my students, Karina Munoz, Grace Brieger, and Catherine Dewar, who will receive scholarships as part of this award. My best to them, and my thanks to all of you.
Bravo! Bravo!
Yeah.
Congrats.
Hi, I'm Karina Munoz, and I am the recipient of the Gary Young Scholarship. I want to begin by thanking everyone who's pushed me and helped me along my undergrad career. I want to thank Gary Young himself, of course. Gary Young has been an incredible mentor and motivator to me. Had it not been for Gary, I wouldn't have pursued grad school, and now I'm getting ready to pack all my things up from Los Angeles and head to Arizona State to pursue my master's in fine art and poetry. And it's amazing because I get to work with these amazing poets, and I owe a lot of it to Gary. Gary helped turn me into the writer I am today, the poet I am today, and I am just so incredibly appreciative of everything he's done for me, because there's not a lot of professors who would do what Gary has done, and it's beautiful to see that, and every day I'm appreciative of everything he's done. So I want to thank you so much, Gary. You deserve this award more than any professor I think I ever have met. So thank you so much. It's such an honor to share this award with you. And I miss you so much. I hope you're doing well. Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Grace Brieger, and I'm a recipient of the Gary Young Scholarship. This scholarship really acknowledges all the hard work I put into the Cal Press alongside Gary and my fellow book artists. So far, I've been working on a book project that involves various forms of art and writing, as well as setting and printing type and carving wood blocks. Gary has really fostered an amazing community with the press, and it's just such an awesome place to be on campus. I can't wait to go back with all the new writing material that I've created during this remote quarter. Thanks, Gary.
Oh, yes.
The Kenneth Andrew Graham Award was named for beloved alum of the creative writing program, Ken Graham, who tragically passed in 2009 soon after graduating. The award is given based on a student who shows a quest for knowledge and curiosity. Hector Castaneda, winner of the award, is such a student. A nominating teacher writes, Hector was a model student, passionate, engaged, full of humor and curiosity. He was interested in both poetry and prose and often blended them in exciting and risky ways. Hector was also invested in community, in creating it in the classroom through supporting his fellow writers and outside of the classroom by participating in readings and slam poetry. Another teacher writes, Hector Castaneda was in my large lecture class of over 200 students, but distinguished himself because he came frequently to office hours to discuss his creative pieces. He stood up in class and made announcements about his garden club, where students came and read poetry in the garden. He read his final piece to the whole class in the end of the quarter. Hector is sweet, earnest, philosophical, thoughtful, and a community builder. Congratulations, Hector.
Hello, my name is Hector Castañeda. My pronouns are he, him. I'm a published poet, a music producer, singer-songwriter, graphic designer, event curator, gardener, and much more. I'm a junior and I'm a major in creative writing with an emphasis in poetry and a minor in electronic music. I'm very honored to be a recipient of the Kenneth Andrew Graham Memorial Scholarship. As a second-generation Chicano from a proud, hardworking family of immigrants, it's very significant to us that we've received an incredible amount of financial assistance. Being from a low-income background, I was in complete shock. I wasn't aware of this award, so when I opened my email, I gasped. I felt all my invested hours of self-publishing my poetry chapbook, countless open mics, near sleepless nights, and painfully healing epiphanies all burst into pure joy. I have so much love in my heart for the literature department and all of the wonderful professors, TAs, interns, and essential workers of various disciplines who have made our college experience possible. So much care is poured into my creative writing classes. It also disheartens me that the UC system has continuously failed to meet the various social and financial needs of all these people. Within a broken UC system, for this award to be given to me, a low-income queer person of color, it kind of feels like an anomaly. I'd like to emphasize my intense gratitude for this award while also bringing attention to the fractures in our system that students and staff have continuously unveiled. If anyone would like to reach out to me for any creative and/or academic projects and beyond, you can feel free to contact me by email. I would love to connect with you, and I wish you all good health amidst these strange times. Thank you all so much.
Hello, my name is Mika Perks. I'm the director of the creative writing program within the literature department. The Idstrom Family Prize for Creative Writing was established in 2018 by John Idstrom to reward extraordinary accomplishment in creative writing. For 2019-20, the recipient was selected from graduate students in the creative critical concentration of the literature PhD program. This year, there were 2 winners. Fourth-year graduate student Courtney Kirsten's The Mad Woman of Cripple Creek, a failed biography of Linda Goodman, is the first. Judges found her work polished, energetic, and funny, and wrote, "This work feels very sure in terms of the range between critical question and creative query. We hear a clear voice that is active and alive." Sharing the award is Connor Bassett, fourth-year graduate student, for his novel in progress, Gad's Book. Judges loved how the sentences worked in his novel and felt that the novel in progress has rhythm, musicality, wit, and energy.
Hey everybody, my name is Courtney and I'm here to say thank you so much for this award. This is really, it means a lot to me, especially as I transition into hopefully finishing my dissertation to have this support. So thank you so much. I also want to say thanks to the literature department and to my wonderful advisor, Mika Perks and Kim Lau for all of their help on my dissertation project. So when I thought about doing this video, I really wanted to do a dancing video. But it didn't end up working out that well. So instead, I just want to share this really exciting prop that I used to make the dancing video that you won't see very much of. So thank you so much, and I hope that you all stay safe and well. Bye.
It's my pleasure to, first of all, congratulate Laurel Mentor for her Cadre Award, richly deserved. She's in my graduate seminar currently, even though she's just an undergrad. We handpick once in a while exceptional undergrads to join us in our graduate seminars. And I'm very happy I did. I did it on the basis of her work in a course she took with me in the spring, which is part of the major on the rationalists. And I just came to realize how extraordinarily talented a young philosopher she is. She's the kind you have to get to know through her writing because she's shy and doesn't speak up as much as perhaps others do. But I recognized it right away. And I'm really pleased that she's getting this award. She made me a beautiful a 3D representation, it's hard to hold up here, of, and I guess it's backwards, I'm not sure, of Spinoza's philosophy for me, which basically I confiscated from her when I saw it, and I've kept and will keep forever. Congratulations, Laurel. And I'm sorry this has to be done so remotely, and look forward to finishing out the year with you.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Hi, I'm Matt O'Hara, the chair of the History Department, and it's my pleasure to announce the award for a new scholarship this year, the Siobhan O'Neill Memorial Scholarship. This was created in honor of Siobhan by her sister, Pat O'Neill. Siobhan was a history major, and it's meant to recognize and to award a student who has similar interests, not just in history, but also in local governance and in art. And this year's award goes to Savannah Hallgarth, who wrote a beautiful essay arguing for the use of microhistory or small stories to sharpen historical analysis and also to give it a human dimension and flair. So I want to offer a big congratulations to Savannah on this award, and I want to thank Pat O'Neill for creating this wonderful opportunity for our students.
My name's Savannah, and I'm a sophomore history major at UC Santa Cruz. I am very honored and immensely grateful to have been chosen for the recipient of the 2020 Siobhan O'Neill Memorial Scholarship. I'm very grateful for the history department and all the opportunities they provide, and I can't wait to return to school when it opens up again.
Bravo. Yeah. Congrats.
I'm Christina Chu. I'm a lecturer in the Department of Literature and the program in Classical Studies at the University of California at Santa Cruz. And I'm speaking about James W. Drasnin, who graduated from UCSC in 1977 with a double major in politics and classical studies. He studied Greek and Latin literature especially, and I was fortunate to be a student of some of UCSC's greatest professors, Norman O'Brien, John Schaar, Harry Berger, Audrey Stanley, and Bob Meister, among many others. Simply to look at his file is to get a good taste of the early years of Santa Cruz when the Cowell course was 3/4 long, 3/4, when the historian John DeZekis, the biologist Todd Newberry, and philosopher Charles Natanson co-taught a seminar on sense of place in recognition of the unique education that UCSC offers to its students in a very unique place and with a very unique sensibility. James decided to create a memorial to his parents and in 1998, and this is how the Sol and Esther Drasnin Memorial Scholarship in Greek was born. 2020 marks the 22nd time this scholarship has been awarded to an outstanding student of Greek literature, and the faculty in classical studies are delighted to award the Sol and Esther Drasnin Memorial Scholarship in Greek to Leah Bonver this year. Leah started to study Greek with me in September of 2019 and has since taken Greek every quarter. She is in her first year. Leah is planning to major in literature and also classical studies. And from the start, Leah impressed me with her persistence, her very focused and very cheerful and always open attitude to learning Greek no matter how many challenges there were. And challenges were many. This was a very challenging year, I think, for everybody at UCSC and around the world because of the coronavirus pandemic. And I'd like to say that Leah has especially impressed me because her efforts to learn Greek have been unstinting. She has carefully memorized every single little detail of Greek, down to the smallest iota subscript, to the complexities of the optative and all of its different voices and moods and persons. She has shown an unflagging patience and devotion and excitement to start reading Greek literature. We're very looking forward, I know, to a class for which we'll read Greek poetry in the fall. And in this way, Leah certainly exemplifies the spirit of James Drasnin and his own classical studies. I will read a quote from one of James's narrative evaluations from the period when he was a student. Again, this is the time when the Cowell Core was 3/4 long. His evaluators wrote that his desire was always to take on large questions, to do too much at once, and to have too many interests, that James's journeys tend to be experimental rather than crisply formulated. His intellect draws too quickly near to its desire. Well, to me, that notion of intellect drawing near to desire, that combination of passion and study, is something that Leah shows very much in her devotion to Greek and to literature and also to books. Leah and I had a lovely conversation early in her studying of Greek. We talked about just having certain books in our lives that we even like to carry around with us as mementos. One of mine is actually a copy of Plato's Phaedrus, and I hope that one day Leah will have a Greek book in her backpack too, that will remind her of her studies at UCSC and her love of Greek literature and of literature. So for these reasons, we award Leah Bonver the Sol and Esner Drasman Memorial Scholarship in Greek for 2019-2020.
Oh, yes. Congratulations.
Hi, everyone. I'm Felicity Amaya Schaefer, Chair of Feminist Studies, and today I get to announce the Bettina Aptheker Award winner. I'm sure many of you know Bettina is a distinguished professor emerita of feminist studies who has established an endowment that supports undergraduate and graduate students whose research work or community service relates to sexual, gendered, and/or racial violence. This year, the award is open to a feminist studies graduate student. Next year, it'll go to an undergrad. And each recipient receives a $1,000 award. This year, the selection committee selected 2 graduate students. The first is Claire Urbanski, whose dissertation project is called Defend the Sacred, Desecration and Spiritual Violence as U.S. Settler Colonial Occupation. And it considers how the desecration of Indigenous burial places and the spiritual violation of Indigenous life and death are imperative to the consolidation and reproduction of U.S. settler colonial power. Her research is inseparable from the activist work she does with 2 Indigenous women-led organizations that both work for the protection of the Ohlone sacred sites and for the return of Ohlone homelands to Indigenous stewardship in the East Bay area. I was awarded this award, sorry, my Zoom's doing something weird, is Jessica Calvanico, whose dissertation is called New Orleans Girl Problems, The House of Good Shepherd and the Making of Carceral Girlhood. And her project examines the foundations of the juvenile justice system in New Orleans to argue that histories of criminalization and incarceration are integral to understanding contemporary U.S. girlhood. So congratulations to you both. We were really impressed with both of your projects.
Hi, I'm Jessica Calvanico. I want to start by thanking Dr. Bettina Aptheker. I am extremely honored and grateful to have been selected to receive the inaugural Bettina Aptheker Award for research on sexual, gender, and racial violence. This award supports my dissertation, New Orleans Girl Problems, The House of the Good Shepherd, and the Making of Carceral Girlhood, which unpacks and challenges ideologies that perpetuate racial, sexual, and gender violence by analyzing a reformatory for sexually delinquent girls in Jim Crow New Orleans. I am grateful for this support and honored to be among the scholars, artists, and activists who will receive the award in the future. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Carla Friggero. I'm a professor of literature, and I'm the principal investigator for the Humanities Institute's newly established research cluster on speculatively scientific fictions of the future. The cluster holds an annual campus-wide competition open to undergraduates and graduate students for a creative piece of social or scientific speculative fiction in any media or genre but available for review and assessment by a committee and ultimately shared with the public, whether through an exhibition, a performance, a proposed course, or a future publication. I'd like to take a moment to thank alumni Peter Koha and James Gunderson for their generous support in making the cluster and prize competition possible. Thanks also goes to THI, especially Saskia Nauenberg-Dunkel, for support and assistance, and to the fellow members of the selection committee, Zach Zimmer, Professor of Literature, and Michael McCarran, doctoral student in the history of consciousness. This year, the cluster made 2 awards of $1,000 each in 2 categories, narrative and multimedia. We received many wonderful submissions, and I wanted to express my gratitude and thanks to all of those who submitted their work for the competition. The winner of the Koha Gunderson Award for Narrative is Willow Gelfman, a literature major in the creative writing concentration, whose short story, Mr. Muskrat's One-Way Ticket to the Great Unknown, is a clever allegory of capitalism, excelling in pacing, style, and humor mixed with deft political critique. Honorable mentions in this category go to Helen Everbach, a feminist studies major minoring in literature, for her short story in progress, Josh Hunk 3, an outer space action-adventure tale of seduction, and Sandra Nair, a physics and mathematics double major, for Scientia, The Knowing Link, a coming-of-age scientific dystopia that is part 1 of a trilogy of novellas. The winner of the Koha Gunderson Prize in the Multimedia category is Hao-Ran Chang, an MFA student in Digital Arts New Media, for Virtual Fire Therapy LLC, a virtual reality project that merges traditional Chinese medicine and future technologies in a story about a pyramid scheme based in current events. He's developing this project for an exhibition in 2021. Honorable mentions in this category go to Saul Villegas, an undergraduate art major, for Ephemerality of Life, and Alexander Wand, a doctoral student in music, for Sensible Sonic Practices for Staying with the Trouble. Thank you all very much, and congratulations to everyone on your creative accomplishments.
Hi, my name is Hao-Ran Chang. I'm the first-year MFA student in Digital Art and New Media. It is such an honor to receive the Koha Gunderson Prize in Speculative Futures. Thank you very much. I'm really excited to continue my virtual reality project to critique on the exploitation of new technologies by addressing the appropriation of Chinese traditional medicine in a pyramid scheme. I'm really looking forward to realizing this project next year in my thesis show. Thank you.
Congratulations!
Hey.
Hi, I'm Nathaniel Deutsch, and I am the Faculty Director of the Humanities Institute here at UC Santa Cruz. And it's my great pleasure to announce the winners of this year's Humanities Institute Undergraduate Research Fellowship Competition. The fellowships support and encourage undergraduate research at the university. Student projects must involve research within or including any of the humanities disciplines. The research must be performed during the current academic year, and applicants have to have a letter of support from a faculty member. This year's awardees are Isabella Elmore, Literature, Monica Estrada Arias, Legal Studies, Farah Safari, Literature, Max Tarloff, Linguistics, Charles Wagner, History, and Monte Montero Elliott, History, who also won the Bertha Melkonian Prize for this year's Best Project. Please join me in giving a warm congratulations to all of this year's winners. Thank you.
Oh, hey. Congratulations.